flex on the less. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I am super excited to share this video with you. Yeah, it was a great flip. We did very, very well on it, but first and foremost, man, this deal would not be possible without the Chad, man. This was a Chad referral, so I'm just saying, you know, I've always said buy me a house, but I think a referral, man, is just as good. You already did it, man. So shout out to Oscar, man. Shout out to Coach. Shout out to Chad. I mean, this is something I'm really excited about, and I want to highlight the opportunities with real estate. So I'm going to go over here. Clearly, you can see it's a little bit different. You're getting the voiceover, but I want you to see what I really did with this house. Lending Tips calls it the Josh Answers Special because I like to find houses that have value no matter what condition they are in. So when I'm buying it, I'm expecting to make all of the money up front. I'm expecting the money on the buy. So you'll see it here. You'll see we made a lot of changes, and I'm going to go over it with you guys. I have a cost breakdown. I even have a bunch of receipts to show you, and you'll see everything from the fees to the lending procedure and all of that. And honestly, one of the best parts is you guys saw my video. I told you we took that Bitcoin. I know it cost a lot of money here. This was a bigger deal. I mean, actually here, again, this just started from the Bitcoin money again. And that's what's crazy about all of this. So anyways, let me just give you the quick story. Thank you for already watching this far. I love you. Subscribe, all of that. God bless you. But here's the quick rundown. We bought this house that you're looking at, $3.4 million. And this was at the beginning of February this year. And then we closed and cashed out and got everything about 2 weeks ago, around the first week there of March. So it took about 36 days from start to finish. And we netted about $1.1 million. And that is after all of the expenses and all that, or it's a little bit less than 1.1 million. I got back 1.6 million, but about 500,000, that is the initial money that we got. And again, that's that Bitcoin money I was talking about. So that's the quick story. It was a very simple flip, and you'll see here in the videos when we walk through the first walkthrough, this is actually the video that I took that I'm showing you here. You know, we were really trying to decide what to do with all of it, because we're like, man, if you knock down some walls, you redo this, you redo that, the floors and all that, like we were really thinking you could turn this into like a $6-7 million property, but would have cost a lot of money. It would have been like $1 million of rehab costs and a lot more stuff. And then ultimately, we weren't even expecting to make this much money as is. You know, initially, I was expecting to make about $300,000. That was the margin that we thought we were going to get on it. And ironically enough, right before we were about to list, so like 2 weeks after we bought this house, the neighbor, like literally a couple doors down, they listed their house at like 4 point something. So I was like, what? I even went to the open house and I even got some ideas, and you'll see I kind of copied them a little bit. I took the carpet idea from them. I'm not going to lie, but I pretty much saw that house. Our house was bigger and it was a lot nicer, honestly, and I figured we could do some stuff. So I was like, well, we'll see what happens. I even decided to list this thing a little bit more than I initially planned. Lending Tips thought I was crazy. Again, we were only going to list this thing for like 3.8. When we got it, we were going to put in some work, maybe $4 million. We were under the impression we would maybe get like 4.5 or something like that, maybe get a bidding war, but it ended up, I was like, all right, man, if I'm expecting this, again, I expected it to sell for like, I thought it was going to take around 60 days. So I was like, all right, let's just list it 4.79, see what happens, and then go from there. But a crazy part about this, and I think I should say this about all of this, you know, it was $1 million profit. It's like, it's a crazy amount of money. And I know people are going to say a lot of things about it, and people could have many opinions, but for me, man, this is just the American dream, man. We didn't come from money. I didn't come from money, anything like that, man. And it's just, this was very wild. And I just want everybody to see, you know, a lot of people got paid on this deal, but I just want people to understand that. And at the end of the day, too, this is like luxury real estate. I mean, I thought they told me to tax the rich, man. I thought that was the game plan. I mean, it was a $4.6 million house. They're $7, and they bought it all cash. So I don't know. But at the end of the day, though, it's like, you know, you could go watch my old videos, man. I was flipping like $200,000, $500,000 houses. And even to this day, I won't box balk at anything at any price range. So, this was a big one right here. And just the speed and everything else, it was pretty wild. But I don't want anybody to think it's crazy. And I really do hope this motivates in some sort of way. And then two, a lot of people think you only get these types of deals in equities if it's like shady, scammy, something like that. But at the end of the day, this deal was overlooked from buy side to sell side by multiple people and multiple professionals. Even the seller, she was an awesome lady. We just worked with her. Again, this was a big amount of money. And once I show you the cost breakdown, you'll see what I'm talking about. The fees alone on a property this size, it costs a lot of money. People don't want to go with selling it, dealing with it, and doing all of that. But she needed us to work on certain terms. And she even told us the house was worth $4.5 million. So she knew what the house was worth initially. She just wanted to make it work on her deal. She was getting another house. So we were there. We were able to work. Again, a referral baby. Shout out to Oscar. It was amazing. And then we worked on that. A lot of people even said it was overpriced. We even had an open house and we let the Colt real estate agents in, and we let the Colt real estate agents hold it down. Thank you, Keyrot and Patrick. Even one of them ended up getting a lead, and that's something too. I'm glad this brought some opportunity for some other people, especially the Colt out here. But everybody saw this. A lot of people even were saying it was overpriced, but the people who bought it, it met their needs. They loved it. They were excited. Again, we lowered it $100,000 below what we listed it at. They offered all cash. We said no contingencies, 10 days, and that was pretty much it. So that was the voiceover segment. You got to see the fees there at the end and all of that. But that's what I want to go over next. And I mean, simply, how did we do it? It's 3 very simple steps. You find the house, you fund the house, and then you sell the house. I know, easier said than done. And even with the first one, I mean, a lot of people ask, like, how do you analyze deals? Like we said, the Josh Answers special, I mean, those were the real clips of the house. And like you can see, we didn't really do much to it, but we did make it sale ready or tried to highlight, some of the potential. Like, why didn't it change all the floors? Because not only would it have costed a certain amount of money, but at that price point, somebody is probably going to want to do the floors that they want with this. So this is what we were trying to explain, but even like analyzing, I mean, I tell you guys how to find it. Go ask. Again, I am a buyer. I'm always down to buy wholesale deals. And again, Oscar made $30,000 off of that without putting any money down, all of that. And again, you'll even see he pretty much made as much as all of the mortgage people and even the agent who helped when we ended up buying it, because she ended up using an agent to represent her. That's why I'm saying a lot of people are like, oh, it's this and that, and blah, blah, blah. But it's like at the end of the day, the lady we bought it from actually even had a real estate agent helping them to make sure it went smoothly and to do all that. And again, a lot of people were able to profit off of this deal. But the first thing is, and even with analyzing a deal, I'll just tell you again, Josh Answers special is if you got to analyze it and it's like on the wire, you're trying to figure it out, that's probably not going to be the deal. Literally with some of these flips. And if you like this video, I'll show you a couple of the other ones that we did, but it just comes down to it should be a no-brainer. But that's the first part. The hard part now is the financing. So this is the cost breakdown. And like I said, the crazy part of all of this, I took the Bitcoin money. So, you need 15% down. That is the rule. A hard money loan, whether you're trying to get 10 million or 10,000, 100,000, just you need 15%. That's bare minimum. If you could get 15%, you could have no credit, no nothing, and you're going to be good to go. So that's something to keep in mind. But like I'm saying, we started this with the small investments in Bitcoin, like literally putting in a couple thousand. You remember I bought 15 grand of Bitcoin. That turned into almost 100 grand. And then we found the other Bitcoin, made a couple of other those trades. Again, you ever hit a TLT, you hit anything crazy, a wheat play, the other TLT, maybe the long-term AbbVie, who knows? If you got 15%, you'll be able to pull this off. And like you see, within a month, I was able to do all of this and then get the money right back. And that's something too. We executed properly and we had to really make the decision. That's why the initial walkthrough videos that you saw, we were trying to say, all right, do we knock down walls or do we try to get this ready and see what we could squeeze out of it? And we took the first option. Thankfully, the other comp and then us being able to sell helped out. But anyways, to the fees right now, you can see here to close the deal and to fund it, what we needed to be able to get the check and be able to buy it. Lady says she'll sell it. We say we'll buy it. We get to escrow the paperwork. You needed $551,964. That was the cash required to close. So as you can see here, when we first signed the deal and we said we're interested, they're going to ask you to put down about a 3% deposit. I put down $102,000. That was to let us know, okay, if we back out earnest money, you get to keep it if we back out. We were serious about this, so they knew we were serious. And then ready to fund the loan about a week or two later, I put down an additional 458,000, and that was now the Bitcoin money was like 420. So you can see I came out of pocket. I had 100 grand outside of the Bitcoin money and like another 20 or 30 grand that I put down. But all in, we were 551,000. That was our cost for the actual mortgage and funding, and the mortgage payment on this thing was about $19,000 a month. So if it took any longer and any month I sat sitting on it, I would have been paying $19,000 a month, but we sold it so quickly, I did not even pay one single mortgage payment. So we were able to flip it before that. That was an awesome one, but that's what it cost. And now here's the breakdown, and this is something you're going to want to see here, is that there's like realtor fees and all of that. So these costs, they get rolled in to the loan. So when I got my 1.6 million back, you'll see it, or it's on one of those forms there due to the seller. This was after the fees, but you'll see in my part of my cash to close, the mortgage fees you actually have to pay up front. So realistically, my cash to close was only 500,000 or 510, but then there was about $41,000 in mortgage fees. I had to pay those pretty much up front. That is part of your cash to close. So that's 41,000 there. That was a cost. So if I didn't have to pay those, or if I could have reduced them, that would have gave me more additional net profit. And then when it came time to sell, the selling commission at 3%, and I offered 0.5% higher than the normal 2.5 because I wanted this thing to sell. But my commission to the other agent, the guy who found the buyer, he made $140,000 on this transaction. That's why we have co-real estate, baby. And I'm saying, even we could, any way you want to work it, wholesale, buy anything. That's why you got to get pieces on every level. But he was able to cash out, and right there alone, adding those up, that's $182,000 off of the deal. So you got to think about that. Even if you wanted to sell this house normally, so even if the lady went through us, like I said, remember, she had an agent represent her, but since we already did most of the legwork, the agent just overlooked the deal and only charged a flat fee of $20,000. Because if the lady wanted to sell this, again, if she wanted to sell it at 3.7 million, and then she had to pay both commissions and then who knows what work, she would have walked away with 3.4, same amount of money. With our deal, she walked away with 3.4, but she actually got 3.4. So this is something to keep in mind. And even if you're looking to get deals, I mean, and if you want to sell me your house, this is what I'm saying, especially on the big deals, people think like our offers aren't competitive. No, we're just being realistic with people. We're letting them know, hey, okay, you want $4 million. Well, guess what? You're going to pay this, anything extra than whatever your mortgage payment is in time. At the end of the day, what's your net going to be? And that's where we hope to come in and kind of just match that, because we're saying we have everything in-house and we're able to save a lot on that. So you're probably going to get a better deal with us. Again, we're cutting out a lot of the middlemen and all of that. But there was that. That's 182 grand. That's already knocked off. We gave 30,000 there to Oscar, baby. God bless you, Oscar. And then we also had paint and lights. So just the painting inside, outside. And then if you'll notice in the video, we added a bunch of lights that didn't exist. I changed all the fixtures. Again, it doesn't look like we did much, but when you really see it, there's a lot of things, especially if it was going to be immediately livable until somebody could remodel it. We made those changes, and the lights were a big thing, but all of that cost 20,000. And then the carpet, it was 6,000. But I said, look at this receipt. Tell me what that says. I think it was 6,000 or 7,000, but that was another 6 or 7 grand. And you didn't see it in the video because I added it later. And again, I wasn't there, and I had to go travel back and forth. This was in California, but it was further away from me. I had to take a plane every weekend. I took my girlfriend with me. She thought we were going on a trip. I was like, we working, anyways. But we were doing a lot of that. But I had to go back and forth and then add stuff later. And thank you to Lending Tips again, all the agents and everybody who helped out with it. But a door was another $4,000, and then the staging, this was another $8,500. So just to get the furniture and make it and kind of bring it to life, because again, as an empty house, it just looked different. Again, staging goes a long way. That was $8,000, and again, this was a luxury area, so people charged a lot for everything. But All in for the total repairs plus the wholesale fee, we spent about $68,500. I got quotes on a lot of different stuff. I got quoted way higher, and honestly, I just would go on Yelp. That's what Lending Tips said he would do. He had other people. I would go say, talk to this guy, talk to that guy, and we just took the cheapest quote that we could get with somebody who actually showed up. So I had 3 different quotes, and 3 people ended up coming, and one guy, the guy we went with wasn't the cheapest, but he was the only one who was on time. So there you have it. But we took the guy who was on time. We said, hey, if he could show up, he's on time. We're going to be moving remote. I mean, this is perfect. We went with him. Everything worked. And then again, a total between the mortgage fees and then staging work, all of this stuff, the grand total came out to about $251,000. So you'll see here the amount due to seller, we got $1.6 million back. And then after you remove our $550,000 down payment, we are left with $1,094. But then the $68,000, that is not included. The only thing that was included was the fees from the mortgage and realtor. Those are already paid for through escrow. But then the only thing that was out of pocket that we needed, so beyond paying the down payment, beyond doing all of this stuff, I needed $68,000 liquid, and I would have had to have reserves to pay for $17,000, $19,000 a month if we ended up holding it. So that's what we got here. It left with a $1,026,000 net, and that was the whole deal. So essentially, if you found a lead like this, you need 15%. You got to factor in how much you're going to do to repair. And then if it doesn't sell fast, how much to hold it. In this case, you needed $551,000, another $50,000, $60,000 there for the repairs. That's about $600,000. And then being able, at least I would say, another $60,000 if you could account for 3 more months of holding. But if you pull it off quick, this market is crazy. Again, everything beat my expectations, even how fast we got it. So it ended up working. It was a crazy deal, but hopefully you guys can see, man, it is possible, and this is what I want. And again, even on the wholesale part, with all of it, this is all through a referral. People are getting paid off of it, and you'll even see, everybody took different levels of risk. Again, it's like you needed a lot of money to pull this deal off, but don't get turned off by that, because you could do this on a small scale. And like I said in that video, man, I just don't think people really get it. It's like, this is not what I've been doing my whole life. I mean, this is a great deal. It's amazing, but we were starting off very small, man. Again, it's funny. Only a couple months ago, I was just buying a $100,000 house. So, you could go back and forth with all of it, but the point is, it is possible. The thing is getting your hands on the money. If you could get 15%, you get that long term, you save up, you could pull and you could turn this into that. And this started from those Bitcoin investments. So realistically, outside of any of the crypto, I only put down like 150, 200 grand outside of it. The rest came from crypto and small investments. And we invested, I think it was 60 grand total to get that 400,000 there on the crypto. So hopefully this helps you guys. I know it's very, very simple. A lot of people want to talk about the analysis and all that, and I'm happy to help. And that's why I said, if you ever email me, we'll get back to you on that and do it. But the thing is, this was just a no-brainer deal. How did I know it was worth this much? I looked at the address. The owner was telling me it's worth a lot. A lot of people were telling me it was worth a lot. But when I went and saw it, every house for sale or being sold in that area, they were all going for $4 million minimum. So I said, well, if I could get this at 3.4, yeah, I'm going to have to factor in 150 with fees. But I said, there is some equity in here, higher market. It's a good market. I said, let's run it. But the houses sold in the comps, that's all it came down to. It was a no-brainer deal. So did I get lucky? Yes, I did. Finger to the sky, baby. God is good. But at the end of the day, man, you got to be out there focusing and working on it. But this really came into luck and preparation and then execution. I mean, all of it just kind of blended together. But hopefully you can see you guys could do this on anything. And if you ever come across this, I will help you. Again, we are down to help. Even if you find the leader, like, help me get the loan, I'll help you. I'll give you the loan. I'm going to charge. Again, the guys who charged, they made a bunch of money. They made, even though I didn't pay a mortgage payment, they still made $19,000. Again, we set it up. $19,000 was an interest-only payment, so I got to lower it, but you can see how it all breaks down there. But hopefully this helps. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, I'm super, super, super thankful, man. Oscar, God, I should probably thank God first, but Oscar, I hope you know I appreciate you out there, and we got something extra for you too, man. But everybody, bro, this has just been great, and I want to see more of this for myself, but also for you guys, because this is what I'm talking about all the time, and then it makes it easy for the long term. You do a real estate deal, all of this, it could take care of a lot of things. So, and again, you have the long term, so you could put it into real estate. Real estate, you'll put it back. And that's what I wanted to highlight with all this. You saw me sell out the crypto. You saw me sell this. You now get to see all of it. You would hear me on stream. I'd take a weekend here and there, and then boom, this is what it is. So Chad, I love you. I hope this inspires you, man. And let's keep getting it, baby. We got to own the land. Shout out Cole Real Estate. Let's keep going, baby. And that's it. Bye. God is good.